What is going on, YouTube, and welcome back to the JDW Sports Talk Show, where every fan's welcome. And it is Saturday morning, and I'm going to be predicting the 2021 NFL Week 4 NFL games. Now, I predicted the Jacksonville and the Bengals game. Before that game, I tried to anyways, had problems with processing, but we're getting back to it today. And first game here we got in the AFC is the Houston Texans at the Buffalo Bills. I'm going to take the Buffalo Bills in this one. The Houston Texans have done a little better than expected. Quarterback play has been okay. Wide receiver play has been pretty good from Brandon Cooks. Other than that, defense has struggled. I think the Buffalo Bills are going to handle the Texans just fine here at home. Then you have the Indianapolis Colts at the Miami Dolphins. The Indianapolis Colts have a lot of injuries. Quentin Nelson is out. Curry Willis is out. They have many people out, many people questionable. Mark Lewinsky is questionable. It's tough. It's tough for the Colts. They have a lot of injuries, but they do have Naheem Hines, Wilkins, and they do have depth in the offensive line. The defense, on the other hand, has been very inconsistent. You have one week where they're good in the first half and then they're bad in the second half. Then you have another week where they're good all game, or vice versa. They're bad in the second half and they're good in the first half. It goes back and forth. The Colts need to find some consistency, and they're going up against their old quarterback foe friend in Jacoby Brissett, so that's going to be a fun game to watch. So you could really go back and forth in this one, but I'm actually going to take the Indianapolis Colts getting their first win in Week 4. Better win. If they don't win this one, the season is probably just about over already, so that'll really suck. Then you go on to the next game, another AFC South opponent and an AFC East opponent. You have the Tennessee Titans traveling to the New York Jets. This game has a weird feeling to me. I have a feeling the Jets may somehow find a way to win, but I'm not gonna let those feelings overcome what the truth is. I think that the Indianapolis Colts will win this game, or the Tennessee Titans will win this game over the Jets pretty handily. Just watch out for this game. Just watch out for it. And you have the Baltimore Ravens at the Denver Broncos. I'm going to take the Denver Broncos in this game. The Ravens have been on a really bad skid. Justin Tucker won the game from last week, and it really shouldn't have even happened, honestly. So, and the Broncos, yeah, they haven't played very good teams, all 0-3 teams, but I think this is when they get their chance to play a little better of a team. The Baltimore Ravens haven't shown to be an extremely good team. They beat the Chiefs, but then they barely beat some questionable teams. So the Ravens are a big question mark right now, and I think the Denver Broncos come out and show that they could beat an okay team. I'm not gonna call the Ravens a solid team yet, but I think the Broncos come out with the win here. Then you have the Las Vegas Raiders at the Los Angeles Chargers. This is gonna be a fun game, a fun week for these two teams. You have Justin Herbert versus Derek Carr, Keenan Allen, Darren Waller, Austin Eckler, Josh Jacobs. You could go all day back and forth, but I think that Chargers O line is going to be able to hold up against that Raiders fierce front, which the Raiders front has been very, very good to start the season. It has been extremely good. So, that's something to watch out for. But the Chargers have a really good offensive line. And, I think that Chargers offensive line is going to be able to hold them off. I think Herbert's going to pick apart the defense. I think the Chargers are going to have a really good game. I think Derek Carr may struggle in this game a little bit. Yeah, Derek Carr has been an amazing quarterback the first few weeks, but he has a lot of passing yards. But people don't realize the numbers are inflated a little bit because the Raiders have had a lot of overtime games, and that extra time gave Derek Carr more time to throw for more yards. So it's just a crazy year so far for the Raiders. They've done really good, and they've always started off really hot. Can they continue it? Can they keep hot? I don't know. We have to wait and see. So in this game, I'm gonna take the Chargers in the AFC West matchup. I think the Chargers are a better team, more well-rounded team. So now let's go over to the NFC side of things. You have the Detroit Lions at the Chicago Bears. this could be an interesting game. The Detroit Lions have shown a lot of fight in their first few weeks. They just got to finish the game. You know, even though they kind of should have won last week against the Baltimore Ravens, but it is what it is. They're traveling to Chicago, play the Bears in an NFC North battle. Gonna be a fun game. Of course, you got Jared Goff. Bears are getting Eddie Goldman back, so that's a big plus. I know Khalil Mack is questionable, but he will probably play. It's going to be a good game. I think it's going to be a close game, but I'm going to take the Chicago Bears versus the Detroit Lions at home. And then you have the Carolina Panthers at the Dallas Cowboys. So the Panthers and the Cowboys, this is going to be a pretty good game as well. Yeah, McCaffrey is out, but I think Chuba Hubbard is an extremely good back. Um, Man, this Carolina offensive line is, I think, one of their biggest weaknesses. But Sean Darnold has been doing his job. The offensive line has been struggling, yeah, but the running back group is solid. The weapons Sam Darnold has is really good. Um, on the Cowboys side of the ball, they have really, really good offense. I think this is where Carolina takes their first loss. It sucks. I don't want to bet against Carolina. I really like seeing them do good. It's not a team you see do good every year, so it's cool to see them doing well. But I think they're going to take a loss to the Dallas Cowboys in week 4. I just think this Cowboys offense is going to be able to outscore this Panthers offense. Yeah, the Panthers defense is solid, but is it? But this is their first true test at defense. And the offense, they're going to have to keep up with the Dallas Cowboys. And until I see them do it once, I'm going to bet against it. And then you have the Washington football team going to Atlanta. This is a good game. This is a difficult game to predict for many reasons. Yeah, the Washington football team has an amazing front seven, but on the back end, they are not very good. And if you have a vet quarterback that can scale the pocket, that knows how to maneuver the pocket, he's going to beat them downfield. And the Falcons have some pretty good downfield threats, if you say so, if you ask me. They have Calvin Ridley, Pitts, Gage, and then they have tight ends that get the job done. Hayden Hurst, and I think Kyle Pitts is a tight end, but he does all. He does it all. Come on now. Watching the football team, I was way too high in them coming into the season. So I'm gonna take the upset. I'm gonna take the Atlanta. I'm not sure if it's an upset. Yeah, it's an upset. I'm gonna take the Atlanta Falcons over the Washington football team. And then you have the New York Giants traveling to New Orleans to play the Saints. Man, Giants, if you want to win this game, you better play good. 0-3. There's quite a few 0-3 teams: Colts, Giants, Falcons. There's quite a few, and the Giants are a good team, right? And the New Orleans Saints are a good team. The Giants being 0-3, I know that it doesn't look like a good team, but this New Orleans front is going to get past this whole line. It's going to make Daniel Jones struggle. Giants' weapons are good, but are they good enough to get this win? I don't think so. Saquon Barkley is going to be playing. Saquon Barkley is a huge difference maker, but that offensive line is going to struggle to hold up nonetheless, whether Saquon Barkley is in or not. That's not going to change the line. And yeah, the Saints, Jameis Winston has been solid. He's been okay. It's a tough one. It's a tough one. Where do you go here? I think the Giants could upset them. I honestly think the Giants could beat them. But yeah, you know what? I'm gonna take the Giants in the upset. I have a feeling that the Giants may upset the Saints. Daniel Jones is gonna have one of those games where you're like, what? Yeah, he has a good game, and the Giants are gonna upset the Saints. Just a gut feeling. Then two NFC West matchups in the next two predictions. You have the Seattle Seahawks and the San Francisco 49ers, and then you have the Cardinals and the Rams. So two really good games. All teams are undefeated, and then no. The Seahawks have struggled, but Nonetheless, this division is very, very, very talented. Russell Wilson, Jimmy Garoppolo, Matthew Stafford, Kyler Murray, Hopkins, Metcalf, Lockett. Debo has had a really good year so far. Cup, Woods. Then you go to defense side of the ball. Nick Bosa, Bobby Wagner, uh, JJ Watt. I guess you could throw in there Chandler Jones, Aaron Donald, Jalen Ramsey. It's an amazing division. And, you know, you have the Seahawks at the Niners. That's going to the first one we're going to talk about more. You have Russell Wilson, the Seahawks, who have had a good first week, but since then hasn't won since. Obviously 1-2, so tough game versus the Niners. The Niners are physical. They can run the ball. They could throw the ball if needed. Their QB may not be a game changer, but he can definitely manage the game at a very, very high level. Now, is that a low end game changer? Maybe. If you're a really good game manager, it's enough to change the game in your favor. So I guess you could take it how you want. But Wilson versus Garoppolo, I'm gonna take Wilson all day. But I think the Niners have a more complete team than the Seahawks. And I think the Niners are gonna come away with the win at home against the Seattle Seahawks in a really fun divisional matchup in a really solid division. And then you have the Arizona Cardinals and the Los Angeles Rams. The Rams are coming off of a really big win last week versus the Buccaneers. So they're gonna be behind themselves. I know this team isn't gonna get caught up in that win, but I think the Rams are a much much more complete team than the Cardinals. I think they're a better team than the Cardinals, and for that reasoning, I'm gonna take the Rams. It's gonna be a really good game, but I'm gonna take the Rams in this game. So then you have the AFC versus NFC matchups. You have the Kansas City Chiefs traveling to Philly. I think the Chiefs are gonna bounce back and take this one. It's the first week of October, and the Chiefs have struggled in the first week of October. So if Philly pulls it off, it'll kind of be a surprise, but it won't at the same time because can you see Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs losing 3 games in a row? I cannot. So Philly front is really good, but the KC offensive line is solid as well. KC running backs, I'm gonna take the Eagles running backs over Kansas City running backs, and I think Philly offensive line will be able to handle the Kansas City front. So the Eagles could run the ball. Hurts, is a really good runner as well, but Nick Sirianni and that staff over there have not shown the ability to want to run the ball. So if they're gonna try and pass all game, it's not gonna be a recipe for success to beating the Kansas City Chiefs. So I'm gonna take the Kansas City Chiefs. I can't see the Eagles beating them. Any given Sunday. But I think KC is going to bounce back week 4 after 2 straight losses and beat the Philadelphia Eagles, Nick Sirianni, Jalen Hurts and co. Patrick Mahomes bounces back. Then you have, I think this matchup is going to be a lot closer than you think. The Cleveland Browns and the Minnesota Vikings. Many think that the Browns are just going to stomp them. Some think, I think this is going to be a really good game. Minnesota has a really good offense, and the Cleveland Browns, Greg Newsome is out, and the Vikings did have a lot of people on the injury report, but they do have a wide receiver out, but it's like their third or fourth wide receiver, I think. So that's not that big of a deal. So you can really go back and forth on all these on this game as well. This Kirk Cousins. What kind of Kirk Cousins do we see? Do we continue to see a great Kirk Cousins? How's that Minnesota offensive line going to do? Dalvin Cook is questionable. If Dalvin Cook doesn't play, you know, Alexander Madison is a good running back, but he's no Dalvin Cook. He's no Dalvin Cook. And then the Cleveland Browns, they have Chubb, Hunt, Mayfield, OBJ, um, Jarvis Landry, which I think Jarvis Landry is actually hurt. And you have, the Browns are really talented. They have really good tight ends and Austin Hooper, David Njoku. So, and the defense is solid as well. Of course, Myles Garrett, one of the best pass rushers in the National Football League, if not the best. just a really, really solid team for the Cleveland Browns. If Dalvin Cook plays, I'm going to switch my pick to the Vikings. But as of right now, I'm taking the Cleveland Browns. Maybe I don't switch to the Vikings. But as of right now, I'm taking the Cleveland Browns over the Minnesota Vikings. They have the Pittsburgh Steelers at the Green Bay Packers. This is going to be a game that the Steelers watch them come out and surprise people and win this game. And, it's just a Steelers move. You lose to the Bengals, and then the next week you come out and you beat the Green Bay Packers. But in Lambeau, I don't think so. I'm going to take Green Bay over Pittsburgh. But don't be surprised if Pittsburgh finds a way. Pittsburgh always finds a way in weird games. It's just how the NFL works with some teams. Then you have, last but not least, one of the most anticipated matchups of all week. Not just because of the matchup. No, I'm not sure who thinks it's really going to be a close game, but it's going to be a good game. And that is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Tom Brady going back to Gillette Stadium to face off Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots. What a matchup in week 4, right? Sunday Night Football. It's going to be a fun matchup. It's going to be a fun game. All the New England Patriots players are going to want to beat him. Obviously, Bill Belichick's going to want to beat him. But what I'm saying is they want to beat him. But they're not going to beat him. I don't think they're going to beat the Buccaneers. The Buccaneers are coming off of not a great game versus the Rams. And you know how Tom Brady is coming off of losing and nonetheless playing the New England Patriots. So, yeah, I'm going to take Tampa Bay over New England. And those are my week 4 predictions. So let me know what you guys think about my predictions. What do you agree with? What do you disagree with? I'm really excited for this week. It's going to be another fun week. It's a lot of good matchups, a lot of great matchups. You have Denver, Baltimore. That's going to be a fun game. That's going to be a close game. The Raiders and the Chargers is going to be a close game. Cleveland and Minnesota is going to be a better game than people think. Tampa Bay, Tom Brady and New England, and Tom Brady going back to New England to play Bill Belichick. And then you have the Bears and the Lions, a divisional matchup. The Carolina and the Dallas game. That's going to be a fun game. And then Washington and Atlanta. Not many people are going to have that game circled, but I do. It's going to be a big game for both teams. Then you have the NFC West going up against each other, Hawks and Niners. And then you have the Cardinals and the Rams. It's going to be a fun week. It's going to be a fun week. So make sure you stay tuned and enjoy your Sunday. I might be live for some games. I might be live for maybe the Tampa Bay and New England in the second half. I'm not sure. We'll see. Maybe the Monday night game. We'll see. But it's going to be a really fun weekend. A really good games. So let me know what you guys think. And that's going to be it for today's video. So I thank you for tuning in to the JDW Sports Talk Show where every fan is welcome. And as always, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Thank you.